All right, so today hopefully will be a pretty big day. As you can see, the garage is a complete mess, as always. My tools and parts and all sorts of stuff is everywhere, but as always, I've done a lot of work off screen since my last update, and that was just a short update because a lot had happened. Engine bay, core support, firewall, all that kind of stuff. Cleaned up, repainted, and the engine's back in, and I've been working on getting a lot of stuff buttoned up. And basically, I'm gonna spend a few minutes today just buttoning up a few small things, like I have to bolt these down fully, tighten these fittings. But otherwise, because today is my birthday and I would love to treat myself a little bit, uh, I think I am at the point where I can actually put some oil in this thing. And even though I don't have fuel lines yet, because that's going to be probably another couple days worth of work, I think I can get this thing started up or fired off a little bit with some starter fluid. So, I'm like I said, I'm gonna double check a few more things. Gonna go through my checklist, which has been slowly whittled down here. Um, there's a lot to go still on some sections, but as you can see, the electrical, this whole column here actually is done. I've even got my grounds done, which is one thing I was waiting kind of till the last minute to do because I had to have the core support back in for some stuff and a few other things here and there. But engine is grounded to the subframe, is grounded to the core support, and the subframe is grounded to the body as well. Everything from my engine itself, like I showed, to the switch panels into here. I've got chassis grounds for all my stuff for the main power distribution, fuse box, all that kind of stuff. This is obviously a bigger mess than maybe the last time. Some of y'all may have seen it because I originally had all this tied up, installed up underneath the dash here, and it is down because I had some things I was trying to figure out with the ECU. This is never a good sign when everything was previously installed and then we're back to this point. Long story short, I had some of the wiring mixed up, and it's part of the reason why I want to test fire today. First things first, I'm going to be, and basically the plan here is to, if I can find my MAF sensor around here somewhere, basically put the MAF sensor on here, give it some starting fluid. I might do it through maybe this hose because that's like one of the last ones to get a zip tie to hold it on, that sort of thing. Other updates, like I said, I got a lot of other components painted up and sorted out. A friend of mine, Junior, actually helped me get my core support sprayed up in Hot Rods Black, which is sweet. It looks factory again because it was, worn out, corroded. It had like overspray from when the car was originally just rattle canned white. As you can see, it wasn't prepped too well when that went down, but otherwise all good to go. I also did a little bit of work clearancing some stuff for the bumper for the front mount intercooler, and it actually fits better than I thought. All right, I got things cleaned up around the car, got things tied up, ready to go. Little things like this is the PCV hose. It's not really much point in hooking it up since it'll still be open, so I'm just capping it off so we don't have any weird vacuum issues or anything like that. And I don't want anything spitting out of here just in case. These are bolted down, hoses all tied up, and I just love that I got just everything situated where there's an air gap around everything. Nothing's touching anything. Even with the O2 sensor wires, they're all clearing everything. Tighten up the O2s, got them managed around there. Intake is bolted on, and I'm going to be popping this bad boy on here just as a temporary kind of snorkel setup here. NA style, I guess, with a bonus turbo hanging off of it. And yeah, gonna get my clamps decently tight, not too tight to hurt anything, but gonna be doing a priming run first, of course, because this engine it's not like it's so dry as in like when you get a engine back from the machine shop, it's like cleaned out and there's nothing in it. But I took the pan off, had the engine upside down, that sort of stuff. There's not much in it. There's just a slight film kind of around everything, and that's going to be it. Make sure my drain bolt isn't leaking over here, and looks like we're doing okay. But yeah, we're gonna be priming in a few minutes here. I've got the coils unplugged, of course, because I don't want to be doing that. And there is no fuel. I've actually got the fuel rail kind of taped off there as well. And yeah. We do have oil pressure. Now, I don't want to keep running the starter so long. That should be enough oil pressure for now. I'll give it one more here. Looks like that's about as much as we're gonna get. Something like, I don't know, high 20s, not quite 30 PSI, but that's pretty good for just under cranking. So I'm gonna double check a couple things here before I start trying to fire it. Of course, I got a couple things I gotta disconnect here and such. All right, we're looking good. I'm gonna go ahead and clamp up our intake here. Just make sure nothing's touching anything. And then go ahead and throw the starter fluid in there. All right, well, it's a good thing I took a second to make sure we had our fire extinguisher ready for safety, because I found an issue. I knew there might have been something that I forgot to tighten, and it's actually the fitting for, if you can see, right straight through the hole up against the block there, that little banjo fitting. That is the pressure fitting for the oil feed for the turbo. And yeah, that's my fault. So now I gotta clean this up and figure out how much oil I've lost. All right, so I got the line tightened down. I forgot that I don't know, anything with a banjo fitting, I tend to wait until the last minute to tighten, just because it has crush washers on it, and I just get kind of paranoid just in case I have to take it off or something like that. But I forgot to double check that. I did double check these fittings, just not the one coming off the block, so my fault, whatever. But should be good now, and I'm gonna prime it up again, and then hopefully do the test fire. All right, so that was actually apparently a good idea, because before it was like 25 to 30 PSI, and if you see now, now we're up to almost 40, so not too shabby. And I think I probably said it 3 or 4 times now, but we're almost ready to fire. All right, and based off how much starter fluid I can smell, we are not getting any spark just yet. So I'm gonna double, triple check a couple things on the ECU and just make sure that everything is hooked up how it should be, that sort of thing. Make sure I'm getting power at all the connections that I should be. Last I left it, I was, but you know, you never know. Then I'm going to see if I can hook up my remote starter and maybe pull a couple the plug wires off and check to make sure I've got spark that way, you know, they'll hold it next to a bolt thing. Okay, long story short, I tried a couple things, one of which my igniter connector, like the lock tab, I think is damaged, and I don't know, but either it wasn't plugged in all the way, or me grounding the neutral start switch, which I didn't have before when I test fired the engine. So I'm leaning towards maybe the igniter, and if that's the case, I'll just put a zip tie on it. But that is ignition. We have something here. So I'm gonna add. Also, it's a lot easier doing this. I should have just done this earlier. It's a lot easier to fire it right here. Starting fluid, by the way, smells like almost like burning plastic or something. It's not burning anything, but yeah, check this out. little smoky over here, but not the prettiest thing, no. But that is ignition. That ran. I might do it again here, but wow, awesome. That's not too bad. I might put a little bit more fluid in there just to see if I can't get it to cooperate just a little bit more. And I also want to listen to make sure that I don't have any issues. And yeah. All right, that is like a huge load off. It starts, and it actually, with enough fluid in there, you can get it to rev up a little bit. And on one of those, I don't know if you could hear, but the turbo is actually starting to spool a little bit. Now, it doesn't sound like it's firing on all six because obviously when I spray into here, it's probably mostly getting into these number 2 and number 3 cylinders. You know, maybe a little bit into the rest, but you know, this isn't very even distribution. I could try maybe, I don't know. I've seen people try to put starter fluid in different ways, but honestly, I'm super happy with that. I might do just one more. All right, I think we're good for that for today. Just wanted to kind of burn off any other residual starter fluid that was up in there. But this is huge, like I said. Means that I, at least at this time, do not have to order a standalone or try to find another stock ECU for now. It looks like this one is going to be okay. Like I said, it was stressing out kind of hard there for a little bit with the stock ECU, but we are almost there. This is huge motivation to just wrap the rest of it up. Literally, I just have to, I have to make a bracket for the clutch reservoir and mount that so I can bleed it. Otherwise, that's good to go there. And then put the piping back on after I trim a few of the couplers here and there, just because I left them a little bit long. And then make fuel lines. And that's going to be, like I said, a bigger kind of thing. That's kind of like the last big thing that's left. And then I'll be able to do a real startup, like first start, with all my gauges running, all that sort of thing, get it to idle, and check it all there. And then from there, just a drive shaft, and then it should drive. So hopefully that's the next couple videos here, is me doing a real first start, not just a test start, with actual fuel pressure and stuff. So see you then.